the financial statements revised? Did you receive OAG? He says it's through your official email.
I can ask maybe my colleague whether he received it. I've not received.
Have you seen any revised financial statements?
They have sent a soft copy to my email.
When?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Why, Governor, why did your team send these revised financial statements as you submitted your responses and annexures? That was on 8th, June. 8 June. What happened until they decided to submit yesterday?
Honorable Chair, I wish to answer this.
Yes.
What happened is that after we had discussion with the auditor, this issue of coming up with the revised financial statement was agreed.
When?
Last week, yeah, Monday.
When you were submitting this documentation?
Yeah, we were verifying.
That was on 8th?
Yeah.
Okay.
We submitted the response, but that aspect of revising the financial statement, we had an oversight on our side. I agree on that, Chair, but we have submitted the revised statement.
But you know that's a strange document. We can't, it's yet to be verified. Members, maybe you can react, then I make a ruling, we make quick progress. Yes, Senator Onyonga.
Chair, we have a precedent that has been set in this committee. If the document is not provided as to the days that you are supposed to have provided, it will not be admissible. Number two, between your office, with a lot of humility, and the office of the Auditor General, we will accept the position of the Auditor General, which is the status quo remains and there's a query.
Senator Dulo?
I think, Chair and Governor, the reason why we want the documents to be with the auditors early enough is for them to verify so that we can move on smoothly. So I think in this case now, they cannot be able to verify. So, which means the query is still standing until you formally submit the documents to the Auditor General and prove that the account has been settled. So those are the reasons. Thank you. Mr.
Senator, I'll give you a chance to
Mr. Chair.
Wait. Just note the questions, Governor. We'll give you opportunity to respond. Senator Medu?
Maybe I will not even want to spend a lot of time addressing the point that has been made. Once the Auditor General is not able to move, we are all stuck. If the Auditor General has not had time to look at the document, if they were submitted yesterday, I'm not sure we have much that we can be able to do, especially on this particular query.
Auditor General, since you don't have a revised financial statements and you were sent yesterday, will it affect, because I know financial statement is the heart of the entire process, will it affect the other subsequent queries as we proceed?
Thank you, Chair. It will not affect because number one is the one that was that we needed a revised financial statement.
Yes.
Indeed, they brought a copy, but it was a loose copy. And you see, when an issue affects a financial statement, the whole financial statement should be amended.
Okay.
So it will not affect the other queries.
Governor, have you had a chance to sit with the Auditor General since you came to the office during entry, exit, meetings, management meeting? Have you been able to sit with the OAG on some of these issues? Have you been able to have a meeting with the Office of the Auditor General? Because it's just a public office. Before I make a ruling, have you been able to sit with them or even your team?
On my side, maybe my team can respond to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think before we go to the team, Chair, with all due respect to the Governor, in as much as you don't do the technical bit, when the auditors come to the county, it's good for you to receive them. And also, they can tell you we are here to audit formally. You receive them. Then once they have come to you, you can just delegate to the technical people, now proceed with the work. Then at the end of the audit, there must be also an exit where they come and brief you the challenges that they have encountered. Then after that, you can be able to follow up if there are gaps. So, and I think maybe in future in your practice, it's good if you meet them at the beginning and also at the end. That's why, you know, majority of the governors, when they appear here, they face a lot of challenges. They might not be able to respond to the queries, and they are not familiar with the document that is submitted before Senate. So I think maybe you have to develop that culture while you are in the office. Thank you.
Senator Medu?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the journey and the AOG has been telling us every time, the journey that this audit practice has gone is quite a long journey. A long time ago, I think 2013, 2014, is when Auditor General was visiting counties and all offices are locked and everybody runs and goes home. Then we have, over time, grown, and I think I would want to buttress the point that has been made by Senator Dulo. Someday, not a long time ago, we were perusing the books of a certain county government that I do not want to mention, and you remember the standstill that we got ourselves in. The county says that they have met the Auditor General. The Auditor General says we have not met. He points at a person and he says, I met you, a certain person within the delegation. Then the person says, I'm a very junior officer. We met in my office and we took tea. I'm sure the members can remember that. So
yes, I can remember.
Although, of course, the governor may not have the technical. You cannot be able to even understand all these things. Maybe some of them even happen. All of them happened when you're not in office. But I think it is very, very good practice that when they come, you're able to receive them. You're able to hand them over to your team, and let it be a practice that it is even the senior management team. Do not send them to the very lowest people in your accounting chain, so that when we come here, most of the issues, and we say this quite often, when there have been a very successful exit meeting and management meeting between the county government and the Auditor General, the issues are always very, 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 very minimal. Because the question that the CEC says that we came to know of on 8th, the question should have even arisen earlier than 8th. It only came on 8th because of this particular session. So had this question been asked at the level of the management meeting, you should have been able to provide. Because if you have the answer, it means that you had the answer 2 weeks ago, you had the answer 1 month ago, you had the answer every time that it was required. Only that you now have to answer it because you are coming to the Senate. I think that is a lapse. It's something that we can be able to improve. Nobody is in the business of fault finding. We just want to make processes work.
Thank you, colleagues. Governor, so who made you said the technical team met, maybe they can go on record if they ever sat with OAG and have a formal meeting outside taking tea. And who were they? Were led by who? Was it, since now, Governor, you were not there? CCM, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. With the chair, through our governor. The date that the auditors came, the appointment they came, the day they came, the governor was not in. And so when they came, they met with us and through all the queries, and they gave us another date on Monday to conclude on the issue. And especially on this query number 1, the issue lying here is the difference whereby in our statement of appropriation, we have unbundled the receipt of the revenue. However, in the statement of receipts and payment, we have bundled. So until they give us the recommendation on what to do, which they gave us on Monday to reconcile, that's the reason why the statement didn't get them on time.
Now, the question is very simple. When you say us, who and who made the OAG? Was it only you, CCM, or the entire finance department?
No, the chief of finance, the director audit, and the director financial reporting.
But did you inform the governor of the engagement with OAG?
Yes, I informed, but she was not in that day.
But later?
Later, yeah. Oh. However, they did that. They worked that particular day and they were leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I make a ruling, maybe finally, Senator Onyonga?
For me, Chair, the issue is self-explanatory.
Yes.
Whichever argument that the CCM makes,
Yes.
this is an issue that has been raised by the Auditor General, and for us, our last line of defense is the OAG. So it's for you to tell us, but I can see it myself that something needs to be done for this to be sorted out. So far, I still we maintain the status quo.
Yeah,
Senator because I do not want to speak after you have ruled, Mr. Chairman. Yes. Now that the OAG has said that this particular document cannot stop.
And verification and those documentation committee for on transit for the report writing. So rule number 2 on generated revenue plot rent 2.0.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Number 2 on generated revenue plot rent. The statement of receipts and payment is disclosed that are not in the financial statements. The required County on generated revenue amount of Kenya shillings 583,884 and that one. Included in this is Kenya shillings 4,991,187 in respect to plot rent revenue. Management did not provide the register of all county plots and the approved charges for rent for audit review. In the circumstances, Kenya shillings 4,991,187 in respect to plot rents for the year ended 2020 will not be confirmed. Chair.
Governor.
Thank you, Chair. During the period under review, the county corrected 4,991,187 in respect of the plot rent from various plot owners in the county. An approved register of all the county plots charged rent is available for audit review. See Annex 2A, copies of the plot rent registers. Further, details of the changeable rent for plots within all the regions within the county are contained in the Finance Act. See Annex 2B, copy of the Finance Act showing plot rent chargeable per plot across all regions within the county.
OAG.
Thank you, Chair. And for this, they will provide a signed but they provided an act in a printout.
Yes.
And wanted a signed act, which they did not provide.
So, which type of the act is the act that is processed by maybe possibly a county assembly?
Yes.
So there was no act in place to give them the legal basis of charging these taxes and levies.
Yes, Chair, but they did provide a soft, no wanted the one that is owned up.
Senators?
You see, the act was provided, but a soft copy.
That is Annex 2B. Yes. Yeah, there is a soft copy there. Yes, proceed as a recommended. Have you seen 2B, the soft copy of the act? So you needed to see the act, the legal basis of processing the charges and levies that were being done in this audit.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Well, we have had 2 issues, one on the register and the other one on approval. Yeah, so the register is there, but now they are...
Were you satisfied with the register?
Yes.
Okay. But so the aspect that was missing is the legal backing or the basis of these charges.
Yes.
They are approved.
They are approved, yes.
Because I did not find in the response, I did not find an answer to the question on the Auditor General on the approved charges for rent.
So that's your question?
Yes, this is my question.
Senator Dulo, just Governor be noting down so that you answer. Yes.
Number one, I want to know from the county government whether the document has been tabled and approved by the county assembly. Number two, whether, I think for us, we need a certified copy of the original, which in this case is not certified. And I believe you have a lawyer among yourselves, so that should have been done. Number three, even the list of the register that has been submitted, it should have been authenticated as far as certified is concerned. So those are the issues I think we are saying.
So Governor, what you're saying is that you didn't provide...
Finally, Chair,
yes.
Sorry, if the legislation you have has not been tabled and approved by the Assembly, then you are illegally collecting the revenue. That has to be clarified. Thank you.
So, Governor, another question is that Section 62 of the Public Audit Act is very clear in terms of provision of documentation when needed by Auditor General. The under review is normally in November at the end of that financial year when they audit. So the question is, why was this act, it's called the Meru County Finance, this is a Finance Act of 2019, okay, so then the Meru County Finance Act. Why did you provide validated and authenticated act, or even because it's gazetted here by the government printer, number one? Number two, is this register should be authenticated, should be signed, should be owned? What was the problem? That is another question. And having the fact that you had a CCM who introduced himself as the person of legal affairs, and coincidentally was my classmate in school from university. So I thought he should have advised you that you don't table a document that is not properly authenticated. Governor, maybe you can go ahead and respond to this.
Maybe one last question, because you say that your classmate is here. Yes. For the benefit of the member, I want to know when the act was enacted or it was existing.
Okay. Yeah. So, Governor, go ahead and respond to those issues.
Thank you, Chair. And because these are legal matters and I have the legal person, allow him to respond to this.
Thank you, Chair. And indeed, I confirm that the Chair was my classmate on campus. Chair, Section 60 of the Evidence Act on a document that we should take judicial notice of. An act is one of the documents that we should take judicial notice of once it has been published, once it has been gazetted. So for that particular reason, there is actually no need of authenticating a document that we should take judicial notice of. And that notwithstanding, the question has been asked when the act came into in force. It was on 24th March of 2020. This is a document that is available at the Kenya Law Report. Yes.
But why did you provide that document?
And then,
you are presuming everybody is a lawyer. Aware of Section 60 of the maybe before you continue responding, Senator
Chair, thank you. I just wanted to just mention to your classmate, if right now somebody wanted to ask me a copy of my ID, should I authenticate it and verify it?
It should be.
I rest my case.
Okay, Senator Meru.
So now my question, and
Chair, you need to rule on the authenticity of the...
I thought she had not finished all the issues we have raised. Now,
but because I want to pick up from where the good advocate has stopped.
Yes.
Even the law came into force in March 2020.
Yes.
And the year under review is
1920.
that year, June 2020.
Yes.
then I would want to imagine that the 4 million that we are speaking about was collected between March 24th and June. Is that a position?
My colleague will confirm that.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I want to answer on this question. In the annex that we provided,
yes,
we had printed the one that we sent to government printer because it was solved, it was easier to prepare. So to print for the purpose of this documentation. When we met with the audit team, they said, yes, this is what we sent to government printer, but we want to see what was sent to the government printer. That was on Monday when we were verifying the responses. So on Tuesday, we scanned the act and they sent to the team. Unfortunately, they've not seen our email. But the fact of the matter is, after we said we provided the original, we scanned and sent to the email. We've also carried the copies of the act. On the question whether the revenues that were collected are from March 20th, the answer is no. Because between July to March, before the act was passed by the Assembly, the county was in operation. And there was an existing finance bill. And since the law can only be amended using another law, before this was passed, we were using the older version of the finance bill. But when this was approved, now we implemented the changes that were here. So this implementation of this took place when it was gazetted. But before it was gazetted, we were collecting using the previously approved finance bill.
So, Governor, the rest of the issues before I make a ruling. So, you have the original copy of the act. Why did you provide?
Thank you, Chair. During we had printed the one that we sent from government printer for purpose of documentation because it was easier. Yes. So when the doctor said, because on Monday when he said,
but you and me, let me cut you short. You and me thought unless a document is gazetted, then why would you want to give the Auditor General that has not been gazetted by the government gazette? You want to allege that the OAG was misleading you by saying provide what you sent to the Kenya Gazette, the Kenya government printer.
Chair, what we are saying, we are not disputing that we are not providing.
So you are accepting?
Yeah, we are accepting.
Okay.
So what we are adding
just
is that.
Hold it there. Just hold it there. Governor?
Thank you, Chair. And before he accepts it, it's my humble request that the Chief Officer maybe assist him on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Chair. I just want to meet on some comments Senator Matthew made.
Matthew. Yes.
That this issue of response to the auditor,
yes,
some of the issues you hear us talk about the document having been submitted on Monday,
yes,
is due to a very simple reason that auditors are the busiest people in government. Getting in office, they're always auditing somewhere. Yes. So actually, this audit, verification of the document...
Just stop there, just stop. Governor, can you answer the rest of the issues? I know we have discussed about the act. There were other issues that were raised by senators. Then I make a ruling, the register was provided, I think, or all 10 issues has been addressed. I thought you were writing down there.
Thank you, Chair, but they have been addressed.
They have been addressed. So let me make the ruling. The auditors,
yes. One point that the Chief Officer Finance raised, saying that the auditors are busiest people to catch. I think that is not right. There should be mechanisms within which you can communicate. Even by email, even by WhatsApp, it has been created. So you cannot run excuses of saying that the auditors are not available. Do your bit, the rest you can leave it to them. Let them carry their cross. I thank you.
So what I'm saying is that you are the one who just said that you sent to the auditor email and he has acknowledged he received. Then how can he be busy? Senator,
Your Excellency Governor, I want to tell your officers this. All the county governments where the Auditor General's office has been having an interface, they have discussed the processes, the management meetings, the exit strategy meetings. The audits have been very easy. Why? Because the relationship is not meant to be adversarial. I'm sure you all know that. So could we please, we beg you, that deal with these people so that they're able to deal with you so that you're able to make it easy for the governor. Thank you.
So let me, I think that's just, thank you for that comment. One, the first ruling is that provide the previous act of 2019 before, and also the act of finance, Mail Finance Bill or Act of 2020, number one. Number two, the registered as you provided, since it is not on and signed, is struck out. Number three, the mail, this Annex 2B also, which is not properly authenticated and all this act is struck out. And then the directions are as follows: in the next 14 days, provide the previous act of 2019, the act of 2020, and authenticated and signed act of the register that we have provided as part of the annexure. So let's move to the next audit query, 3.0, delay in banking revenue.
Thank you, Chair. Delay in banking of revenue. The statement of receipts and payment address disclosed under Note 3 to the financial statement reflects Kenya shillings 583,884 and that one in respect to county-owned generated revenue. This includes an amount of Kenya shillings 21,332,964 in respect of revenue collected at Kagulu Agricultural Training Center, ATC, and Mitungu Agricultural Mechanization Services, AMS. Review of the documents presented for audit verification reviewed that the revenue of Kenya shillings 21,332,964 collected from the two institutions were not deposited into the county revenue fund. This was contrary to Section 81, Section 1 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations 2015, which require receivers of revenue to promptly deposit into the county revenue fund account or receipts due to the county. In addition, included in county-owned generated revenue is an amount of Kenya shillings 167,56 in respect of to public health facilities operations, that is Facility Equipment Fund, FIF. Review of documents presented for audit verification reviewed that an amount of Kenya shillings 188,641 was collected and spent without banking in the county revenue fund. This was contrary to Section 881, subsection 1 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations 2015, which require receivers of revenue to promptly deposit to the county to the county revenue fund. In the circumstances, the accuracy is 583,884 and that one in respect to county-owned generated
and I appreciate the, especially the media guys. Can you settle down? Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. During the period under review, the ATC Kaguru and the AMS Mitungu collected a total revenue of 13,414,431 and 7,918,533 respectively, giving a total of 21. Bank CIF utilized based on a cabinet memo of reference MC/00G/1/15 of 2nd September 2014 that provided a framework whereby 70% of the revenue was retained by the institution, 20% was to be paid to the county revenue fund, and 10% retained in the revolving fund. During the period under review, from the main agricultural fund to the county revenue fund. See Annex 3, copy of bank statement as evidence of the transfer of funds. At the moment, the county has since passed legislation through the county assembly to provide a legal framework to the above mentioned cabinet memo by establishing a fund to administer Kaguru ATC and Mitungu AMS centers. See Annex 3B, copy of the County Assembly Act establishing the fund. Contrary to the audit of provision, amount of One is Public Health Facilities Operations Facility Improvement Fund, that is FIF, which remained unbanked at the closure of the financial year, relates to the cash in hand at the closure of financial year. The amount was captured in the Board of Survey conducted at the closure of financial year and was disclosed as part of the cash and cash equivalents in the financial statements. See Annex 3C, copy of the Board of Survey at the closure of financial year, confirming cash in hand of 188,641 held at the closure of financial year by various health facilities.
I think for number one, the issue has not been resolved. For number one, and then Roman 1.
That's number one. The part, paragraph 1.
Yes.
So it's outstanding. Then number 2.
Number 2, they want to provide the deposit slips.
But they didn't provide. Is it part of the annexes?
No, they haven't provided. The ones that have been provided do not relate
to the audit query. Okay. Members, Senator Nyonga?
I would like to deal with the matter that I've seen. Because we don't have the treasury here, I would want to bring it to the OAG and then most probably chair go to ESCC. The argument that 70% of the money was supposed to have been spent at the local level, the governor, yes, at source, the governor has actually quoted that there was correspondence from treasury, and yet in reality, the correspondence that I am aware of, which came out around the month, I think, chair of April, came from ESCC, where ESCC was very clear.
Which entry?
There's an entry, I think, yes. You could look at that.
Okay. So see?
Yes.
This is 19 October 2022.
Here, you could look at that also. Why do we have this contradiction? Because the governor is saying this was allowed for treasury and we are having an issue. This is allowed, ESCC, you cannot do it. What is the true position? Is the governor's position the correct one or your position is the correct one?
Maybe just clarification, we need to know which cabinet, because it's on a cabinet memo. Is it the cabinet of Meru County Executive?
Is it possible to have a copy of that memo you're talking about?
Yes.
Is it possible?
Governor, is it possible?
Because you should have actually attached it. Sorry, Senator. Okay. You should have attached the copy of the memo
yes.
to the annexures. But we don't have a copy of that cabinet memo, which still actually makes that query then not answered correctly.
Senator
Mr. Chairman, even before we get to know whether we need the cabinet memo, I need to get it from yourself and your classmate, because the query is in breach of the PFM Act Section 81.
Section?
81.1. And the cure, the county says that the cure is a cabinet memo. So I would want to know whether a cabinet memo would be the cure, because the 81.1 says all monies received should be promptly deposited. No money should be spent at source. Now the county says the reason why the money was spent at source, there was a cabinet memo that says 70% of the money was to be retained by the institution. So I would want to understand whether a cabinet memo can overrule an existing legislation. That is number one. I don't know whether we are already gotten to 3C, because I've seen that the explanation is that the money that is in before audit was money that has been explained to have been cash at hand. The explanation that has been given by the county is cash at hand. And I would be very interested to know what are the frameworks that allow how do they use the money that they are calling cash at hand? Is it for payment of, for what payment? For procurement or payment of casual workers, whatever it is?
So I hope Governor just knows the own questions. Can we cover it?
Chair, I think for me, use of cabinet memo in actually utilizing budgetary allocation of about 70%, it's illegal as far as I'm concerned. Number two, they have indicated also in their response that they are working on a legislation that should govern that. So before the use of that budgetary allocation, they should have had a legislation that governs the usage of that fund. So I think an explanation has to be given on why that has happened. Number two, I want to know whether the same budget is being used even currently as it is. So those are the queries that I would be raised. Thank you.
Governor, as you note that maybe further questions, under section 109 of the Public Finance Management Act, establishment of a county revenue fund for each county government. Section 109(2)(a), 2, the county treasury for each county government shall ensure that all money raised or received by or on behalf of the county government is paid into the county revenue fund, except money that A, is excluded from payment into the fund because of provision of this act or an act of parliament, and is payable into another county public fund established for specific purpose. B, may in accordance with other legislation, this act or county legislation be retained by the county government entity which is received for purposes of defraying its expenses. Or C, is reasonably excluded by act of parliament as provided for in Article 207 of the Constitution. Governor, when you look at section 109 of PMF Act, cabinet memo is not one of the reasons that you spend at the source. So as you answer, note that this was an illegality on the aspect of spending at the source. There is the letter by EACC, maybe Senator Metu. Yeah, just can I have see it?
Do you have a copy of this letter?
This letter. It was written to her.
In October 2022, copied by the EACC CEO.
Who was it addressed to?
It was addressed to the governor.
Yes.
Actually, paragraph 2. Failure to protect public resources. It is alleged that you have directed the Mary Teaching and Referral Hospital to spend all income at source contrary to Article 207 of the Constitution and Section 109(2) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. I don't know whether you received a copy of that letter or maybe the letter itself. So that is.
Governor, I think this letter was addressed to you. That was 19 October 2022. Have you seen this letter from EACC that indicated they have raised a lot of issues, but we are very keen on failure to protect public resources, where you are using a cabinet memo which the law does not allow you to spend at source. And this letter has raised a lot of issues. And therefore, is your office aware of yourself, because it was directly addressed to you, not the Senate?
Thank you.
As you answer the rest.
Thank you, Chair. About the cabinet memo,
yes.
If it can overrule the registration and also the letter that was addressed to me by EACC, my legal person will be in a better position to answer that, as my chief officer also sheds light about the money that was supposed to be banked, or the issues about the finances. I think the chief officer is in a better position to answer that.
Thank you, Chair. Let me answer the question. And let me start by saying that it is true. For Kaguru, they used to use 70% of the revenue collected directly, and then the other percentage was remittance to county revenue fund. On this, we were basing on the circular which was there before devolution, which used to be used by the ATCs, Agricultural Training
sent us.
But Chief Officer,
yes.
Let me stop you there. You have read section 109. There is no part that says there was a memo that allowed you to spend at the source. It is illegal.
Chair, I'm almost to answer that.
Yes.
I agree, Chair, that circular was repealed by the Constitution, by the devolving to the
When was the circular issued?
Okay, it was before, it was 190.
Do you have a copy? How long have you been serving in Meru?
Yes, I was there, Chair, as the Director of Budget.
When were
Even
you?
that time, even the year in question.
From 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Chair, we were in breach. I agree on that. But subsequently, it was agreed we legislate for Kawira to be independent.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, please.
Officer, have you listened to what you said? You were in breach. The statement ends there. In law, you can't add anything after that.
Yes, I agree for that.
So what you were doing was illegal.
It was illegal.
So leave it there. You can't explain anything else.
So maybe the cure that you are speaking about will come in the subsequent audits.
Yes.
It's not subject for this year under review.
Yes.
You just said that you are in breach this year under review.
Yes.
Then we go to the next one.
Yeah. Yes, Chair.
Otherwise, you shall answer questions of the next audit. Yeah.
So that one you agree to the law, but you answer the second part of the
I
bill.
just a follow-up question.
Yes.
Whether the situation is still the same
Yes.
or it has been corrected. Maybe you need to answer that bit.
Chair, that one has been corrected. A legislation is there, and the Kawira ATC is now independent and as a corporation, which is audited independently, and it's not supposed. Actually, it is now banking through the CRF.
Can you give us a copy of that legislation?
Chair, I can.
No, I will rule on that.
No, not now. Of course,
Yes.
maybe to some.
I will just rule on that. Answer the other parts of the questions. You want to answer the rest the government allowed you, apart from the spending at source.
Okay, Chair, I wish to extend my answer on the part of cash at hand.
Cash at hand, Senator Miller, cash at hand.
The reason is that this cash was collected on the last day of the year, and it was supposed to be banked in the subsequent day, which is 1st of July 2021.
How much was it?
188,641. And
Maybe when you say it was corrected, what are the streams? What is it? Where is it corrected from?
Kawira.
I don't know. I know it's Kawira, but is it payment of fees or whatever? What is it? What is it?
Okay, Chair. This issue of cash at hand is from various streams.
Yes.
One is from hospitals,
Yes.
the FIF. The other one is also from Kawira. Yeah, two of them.
He's asking about revenue streams.
Okay, no, I got so in this very last day, from maybe like I was to like to what 24,000 was collected that day.
Yes.
Okay.
Proceed to answer the rest of the questions.
Then ask my colleague to assist me.
It was the legal part. The governor said CCM Legal Affairs is aware that this letter is not the letter of EACC on cautioning at spending at source, and this was on 18 October or 19 October of 2022, and it was addressed direct to the governor.
I can respond to that, Chair. You remember that that was one of the grounds actually of impeachment. That particular letter and that particular ground on Section 107. It was part of the grounds of impeachment. That motion came before you, the Senate.
No. Chair, can I intervene? Because the legal counsel is misleading.
Right.
Because even if it was the ground of impeachment, that has actually come out in the audit grade.
Yes.
So that argument doesn't hold at all.
Yes.
So don't take that direction, please.
Don't evoke unnecessary.
Chair, without due respect, the financial year that we are referring to here is called 2019-2020.
We are aware, Council.
And the letter that
Governor, can you stop your CCM? He wants us to prove other things which we don't. We are not interested. Governor, simple. This letter was written to you on 19 October 2022. Were you aware of these issues raised by EACC?
Just Mr. Governor, before you answer, we have only the letter. We don't have evidence to show that even when she came in, she was actually using memo to utilize the budgetary allocation at that level. So that argument does not help at all. Thank you.
Chair, allow me to help my colleagues. The 181 is for hospitals. Hospitals, they have several services and they are chargeable. So the amount was collected within the hospitals in the last days of at the closure of the financial year. As at that date, the amount was not banked. But in the first week of July, the amounts were banked. From the annexes that we provided the amount per each hospital facility and the corresponding banking. When we met with the audit team, we agreed we need to provide a bank statement so that they can tick the banking in the bank statement, and we provided in the email. Maybe if not
the extra that you are submitting. Yes.
You said your name is who?
My name is Crispus Mutoni.
Chris.
You are the chief officer.
Financial reporting.
Of financial reporting.
Thank you. The amount of money we are talking here is not the money for the health. That we don't have an issue with, by the way. The issue that we are having is that there was on-source revenue collected and a decision was made for this money to be spent at the local level against the law. So we are asking two questions. Was this done inadvertently because there was evidence before whereby you are allowed to do that, and you have said memo, and you have said that there is actually supposed to be correspondence of the same, and then Chair has raised the issue, and I think Madam Fatma Dulo, Senator Dulo has also asked the same question. The money that you are spending at the local level, were you doing it after you received this memo from EACC, or were you doing it before? So I don't know whether I'm making sense or I'm wasting time.
Chair, just a writer.
Yes.
The chief officer, Tony, for you to even keep revenue for a day, it is illegal. So you cannot tell us that when auditors came, we didn't actually deposit the money for a certain number of days. You are already within an illegality. So don't bring those kind of arguments. And don't mislead the governor, because if that is what you are doing, you are the ones who are actually putting her in problems. So don't bring that kind of an argument here. Thank you.
The governor, maybe to conclude that part so that we make a ruling, is Governor, this letter was addressed to you directly. And my question is simple. Have you seen this letter by EACC because it was addressed to you directly?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
The letter was addressed to me directly, I don't deny that.
Yes.
But once a letter related to me, I always give my legal team so that we can also advise on the way forward.
Have you tried to rectify some of the issues, specifically on the issue of spending money at source?
We have on the chair, and we are working on that.
Yes.
And I think, and I believe that.
So in the next, can you prove the corrective measures that we have put in place?
Yes, we will on that.
Okay. So let me make the ruling quickly so that we make progress. And we have agreed that cabinet memo is not part of the reason you spend at the source. Section 109 is very clear. One is the legislation of Kaguru that allowed Kaguru to operate as incorporated as a corporation, provide us with the act that has been passed. Number two, show the...
Maybe, Mr. Chairman, I do not intend maybe to overrule Yes. I would want to know whether, because I'm seeing an act that is the Kaguru Agricultural Training Center Act 2019 that has been annexed.
Annexed what?
In the... Okay, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
So...
Chair, I just wanted to bring a provision to your attention.
Yes.
This is Public Finance Management Act. Section 81, subsection 1, that says, receivers of revenue shall promptly deposit to the county exchequer account and receipt due to the county revenue fund. Number 2, the receivers of revenue shall promptly pay the revenue received into county revenue as soon as possible, and in any case not later than 5 working days after receipt thereof. So the county treasury shall issue receipt to a receiver of revenue to acknowledge the receipt of the revenue thereof. You have a legal counsel, and I think you should have guided actually the county government and the government. Thank you.
And is there a receiver in Meru? As per the law? Receiver of revenue, is it appointed? Is he here? CCN?
Chair, it is true we have a receiver of revenue who is the Meru County Revenue Board. See, yeah.
No, he has to be an independent person.
Okay, the corporation is independent already.
No, we are asking receiver of revenue, not specifically to Kaguru.
An officer.
Yes.
An officer. We are not talking about Kaguru generally.
Yes, the CEO Revenue Board is the receiver.
Is a receiver?
Yes.
What does the law say, Michelle Otora as Senator Metu?
Maybe Chief Officer,
yes,
on this particular matter,
yes,
did the 7 million that was spent on source then finally appear on your financial statements? Maybe did it appear as console's revenue?
yes. But as
in the financial
statement,
No, use a language that a farmer can understand.
yes.
I only know that the sponsor's revenue, it did appear as sponsor's revenue.
Yes, it did.
In the financial statement.
Yes.
And you're certain about that?
Yes.
Because what I'm looking at shows only the 13 million. The financial statement of the year ending 30th June 2020 only shows the 13 million from the UTC.
Yes.
So where does it appear?
It appears in a consolidated financial statement.
So it's not own source?
It is own source revenue. However, in accounting, if an institution is allowed to spend at source, we used to give them what we call AMA, Authority to Incur Expenditure at source.
No, now, I don't have read section 109.
Yes.
Whichever, the law is very specific on how you can spend at the source. It is not about accounting, it is about the law.
So ultimately it was not own source because it was spent.
But we are counting as own part of own source revenue.
Maybe however much you want to pursue this matter,
yes,
that is the best that you can give us an answer.
Yes. So I've seen, maybe to make the ruling, I've seen the act that has been provided by that on the issue of Kaguru ATC 2019. The auditor next 14 days prove the functionality of this commission, whether board members have been appointed, their functionality, minutes of meetings, what have you.
And maybe Chairman on it, maybe the auditor can tell us whether they are auditing, now that it's a separate fund, whether they are auditing the Kaguru ATC. Because then it will appear substantially before the public investment committee.
Have you did this Kaguru ATC?
Chair, I would not audit it unless it was started from this financial year.
Okay.
Because then there will be a backlog of 20, it will be 2020, 2021. 2021, 2020. Because they say that from 2020 is when the fund was
Maybe you can report progress in the first quarter of the next financial year. Okay, that's what I read. Finally, Governor, give us the corrective measures on the issue, the letter written on 19 October 2022 by EACC, especially on spending at source. and on the aspect of failure to protect resources because it's tied up. Whether that you have said there was an act in place, there were corrective measures. In the next 14 days, provide a proof and the OAG kindly cross-check on that. So that the issue of audit number delay in bundling of revenue, and we have ruled that spending at source is illegal. And when the committee retreats for report writing, we shall give directions. Governor, also, because the people who spend at source now and then, you should also show us in writing before the committee whether there are any administrative action that has been taken to save officers, unless you have capacity challenges in your departments. But if as people who have served like from 2013 some of the officers, then administrative action should be taken against them. So in the next 14 days, show to the committee the steps that we have taken, apart from corrective measures, the administrative action as a CEO you have undertaken so that we don't incur this issue. The next, we move to the next number.
Number 4.
Number 4, unsupported revenue collection from issuance of business permit.
Thank you, Chair. Unsupported revenue collection from issuance of business permits. The statement of receipts and payments and is disclosed under note 3 to the financial statements reflects Kenya shillings 583.84 and that 1 in respect to county-owned generated revenue. This includes an amount of Kenya shillings 95,366,737 in respect of revenue from business permit. However, management did not provide for audit verification the business register, indicating the business names, registration number, amount paid, and receipt issued. It was therefore not possible to establish the actual businesses that applied for the annual business permits and the respective amount of the revenue received. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of Kenya shillings 95,366,737 in respect of revenue from business permit for the year ended 30th June 2020 will not be confirmed.
Governor, as you answer, in fact, I've seen your Kakuru ATCR 2019, that is section 15. In fact, it says all receipts or earning revenues accrual from the center shall be paid to CRF fund. So even your law says it should go to CRF, it does not say you spend at source. But just for your information, and your officer should be working hard to bring this to your attention. So proceed to read the management response to that.
Thank you, Chair. During the period of the review, the county collected 95,366,737 from single business permits. This amount is collectible from business within the county. To ensure collection of the monies, the county government maintains an updated register of the business in the county, which is available for audit review. See Annex 4A, copy of the business register. And further, the amount of 5,066,734 collected is adequately supported with the details relating to the collections, the source documents like the name of the business, receipt issued, or the permit number issued. See Annex 4B, copy of the supporting schedule for SBT collected, including both the permit number and the receipt issued. Thank you, sir.
OAG.
Thank you, Chair. For the register of business, the register of the businesses, it was provided that we have chosen to own this. Again, it's just this big point of view. Yes, and then for the 95 million, it's not yet supported.
Members, note that from government members. And maybe as Senator Wanyonga will call the record, we are being joined by one of our members. Maybe
yes, you could introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. This is Senator Mandagasaya, the leading county member of this committee, and a neighbor to the governor before us.
A neighbor to governor of the Meru County.
I have introduced myself as an institution.
Okay, Senator. Okay, thank you.
Not an individual.
Senator Wanyonga.
Okay, Chair, I wanted to raise the issue about the 95 million. And I'm bringing it right back to you. What is the issue that you've got?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, on the annex, yes.
Thank you, Chair. The management provided a schedule that doesn't even have the totals. So we have, and we have also not provided the soft copy that we can use to carry to get the 95. So we actually do not know whether we can actually total to the 95.
Okay.
We are also not able to relate the rate in the register.
Okay. Chair, I'm waiting for you.
Yes.
What OAG is saying is that we are having a variation on the figures on the ledger and the on the registry, and because that register has not been verified, they have no way of.
I would rule. What I can do, I'll rule on the.
Yes, because I was going to suggest, sir, that you make a ruling.
Yes, I'll make a ruling
which would either give the county government time for them to review or for them to actually reconcile and convince us.
I'll rule on the register. Maybe you can go back to your question.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Maybe in the financial statement, where is it placed here? I can see notes. Note 3, county of generated receipts. Is it in the financial statements? And the county government, can you lead us, because this financial statements is yours? Which aspect? So, sorry, as you note that, Auditor General note that and check out note 3, Senator Mandakata?
Yeah, you know, I'm sitting in another function which is Samburu County, so I just there to make an appearance.
Yes.
Maybe to resonate with my neighbor county. So I think that there to
this out. You can still join us when you conclude. Thank you. The other part. Thank you. Okay, thank you. He's also a member of this committee. It's that the also Samburu County Executive is ongoing. Yes, is it there? No, 3. County of generator, page 20. Business permits 95 million, 366,737. It's there. Okay. Yeah. So proceed. So the issue, yes. So the issue, I will rule on the register. Yes. The issue of 95 million, the governor, where the supporting documents, and as you answer that, in Meru County, do you have a database of businesses that you have? What is the mode of collection? Is it cashless? Do you collect using receipts? And is there any provider of collection of revenue in Meru? So maybe you can answer those questions, then we can give the final round. On the issue of register, don't refer to it because it's not owned, it's not signed, so it's struck out and stood down. In the next 14 days, provide the same register authenticated and verified. So answer the part 2 on 95 million and the other supplementary questions.
Thank you, Chair. Before I give the Waziri to answer about the 95 million, we've taken major steps. In the next 2 months, we will be cashless. All the operations in Meru, that's a big step that we've taken. Concerning the 95 million,
Waziri, Governor, before you, in the next 2 months, you are getting a provider of collection. Who is this provider? Have you finished the tendering process?
We've not yet finished, but we are in the process.
So have you allocated funds to guide the process?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Through this supplementary budget?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
43 million.
43 million. So you are saying every service will be cashless in Meru?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Madam Governor, one of the things we do in our committee is that when we get information, we would like to share it if it makes sense. I would like to make a recommendation, Chair. You are sitting in committee with Makweni. And you remember the governor coming out saying here's you could most probably benchmark. There's a cashless system that he's using.
And they are paying 0.0.
They are paying such little to use the system. It's a Safaricom system. Please go and have a look and see whether it makes more sense more than the others, and then you pick out the best option.
I think that advice is. So the other questions that were asked?
Chair, through Governor, to add on what Governor has said, we started in phases. We started with the hospital. As we talk right now to level 3, we are cashless. And thank you for the recommendation.
A service providers have not.
I'm talking of the hospital side.
Is
We
there
have
a
begun
system
with
already
the
for
M-Pesa. Yes, we have begun with the registration to the M-Pesa. The Safaricom, we have met severally. We have met twice with Safaricom. We are making progress. We are giving them the data that they require as they wait for us to procure the provider.
Was it so that let's go systematic? You have a pay bill for people to pay in hospitals?
As per now.
Okay.
And then we have met...
Which other section is cashless apart from hospital?
Now we are working on the revenue collection. Yeah, the rest. And we have already met with Safaricom with reference from Akweni.
Yes.
And we are providing the data they require. And concurrently, we are also progressing with the procuring of the provider.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the 95, allow me, our director, finance report. However, I agreed with the external auditors on Monday, and we agreed on owning the 95 million. Yeah. Stamping and on the authentication of the register, and in 14 days.
But you are going back abstract of as the evidence in this country. Don't go back. You are reopening my ruling. Okay. The director of finance reporting.
Thank you, Chair.
And tell us, not just to the straight level, why did you not provide supporting documentation to account for 95 billion?
Thank you, Chair. What we agreed with the auditors, we've provided, but we request for within the 10 days, we look at what because we provided.
Only the OAG, what did you agree? That we have agreed on 95 million.
Thank you, Chair. That is not what we agreed. We agreed with them that they support the whole figure of 95 and then relate it to the register.
Okay.
Chair, that's why we've agreed and we sent an email to them.
Again?
But on this issue, but it seems like they've not reviewed the data in our email. So we are requesting within those 14 days, we'll review what we've sent, and the next time we will not be speaking in different terms.
I rule as follows so that you make progress. One is in the next 14 days, provide us with a copy of that email, because that email looks at a lot of stories to prove that it has been sent. Make sure it is printed, to show printout of sending of those email and authenticated in the next 14 days. Governor, on the issue of hospital pay bill, in the next 14 days, provide the functionality of this hospital pay bill and to prove that the money is not spent and sold in the Safaricom pay bill, and the corrective, the pay bill and the bank accounts that are there, and the corrective measures that you have put in place to ensure that mail goes to cashless and prevent leakages. Because you and me, you might not be there. Some of the officers can do duplicated receipts, so that at the end of the day you are under collecting. And maybe, we want to run away from this. I'm not referring to the jacket you have worn, but these yellow, revenue officers are prone to wearing yellow jackets and what have you. So we want to eliminate that and ensure that the issue of revenue, because at the end of the day, the improvement of one source revenue. Governor, maybe just a simple question. What is your projection so far, latest, of collection of revenue? Just give us a projection or an approximation, so that we can see if there is progress in terms of improvement on collection. What are you projecting in next financial year, or even this quarter that we have been noticing. And maybe since you are taking whole team is the director of finance, in comparison with the last quarter of last year and now this year, whether there is improvement in terms of collection of gross revenue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We've improved and not little improvement, but major improvement, and my waziri can explain that.
Thank you, Chair. This financial year, the previous financial year, the collection was 385, and as we talk right now, in the 400 million projection final year, we projected 550. This is difference to the past performance. We are going to surpass. We know we are going to start because of the new system, and from the reference from other counties and previously, anytime that you have a new provider, there is a slowness in implementation. So that's why we could not go to our ambition. But we are ambitious, we will hit the coming years, we will get to our revenue potential.
So your projection for 2023-2024 is 550 million?
Yes.
It also 7.
Yeah.
In this financial year that is coming to an end, what was the projection?
The projection was 100.
Yes.
And when we came, there was the first quarter there was under collection of 40 million, and that is before we got into the office. However, we have worked very hard because we have improved our enforcement muscles. Yeah.
So have you had extra revenue officers, enforcement aspects?
No, we have worked on enforcement and
Yes.
then and on the people who are already there.
What do? You get out of the office, go to shops, look at the permits, how do you implement that enforcement aspect?
Surprise, we have a monitoring team.
Yes.
And we have given them the mandate to do surprise visits.
You as the CCM, you don't go out and check?
Their days have gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the issue.
Madam Minister, you confused me a bit. You've created three figures. You've created 300, you said 300, you said 500, and you said 800.
Okay.
Is that progressive wise, or this is your expectation?
Progressive. The previous financial year, the collection was 385. This financial year, we have pulled up our assaults irrespective of the challenges, and as at now we have hit 400 million. We are projected 550 for the next coming financial year, which is 2023-2024. Yeah.
Now that's clear. Let's move number 5 with the zero on scholarships and education. That one will go to CP. That will go to County Public Investment Committee. We move to number 6, where the issue of VCT and provision of auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Number 6, unsupported acquisition.
Sorry, I hope the bank accounts, they build the numbers that are there, the amount that is there, and the aspect of corrective mechanisms in improving the on-source revenue, because that's where the future is. You cannot national government through equitable share. And my direction is that don't spend money at source. And at least today you have had it. Don't allow the technical team to lead you, because if you spend the money at source, there will always be leakages. So I think those are directions we have given. So we move to 6.0, and supported acquisition of strategic stocks and commodities.
Commodities, the statement of receipts and payments, and as disclosed that are not like the financial statements, reflects 23,700. The amount of finishing 15. 93,622 in respect to acquisition stocks and that is needed for. However, supporting documents including the invoice were not
40.
Support. We carry some now.
But is this Annex 6? It shows about beds, quantity in pieces, quantity in liters amount. So where did it? You look at Annex 6.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, the Annex 6, okay, we received all the.
But this one, I'm talking about this one.
Yes. That is
So where did it go? Because now it says, you know, my issue is not, is this part of the annex of the annex?
Chairman, so that we are able to understand. What I have seen, the Auditor General delivering notes.
Yes.
And a list of recipient schools.
Yeah. And this document only quantity liters amount to where?
Thank you, Chair. The document had all the annexes, and we have carried a view of those.
Can you
So, no. Are provided to you, but they have not been provided to us.
I think so. Because if you look at for example, there's that is supporting
K4 primary units commanded, what is delivered 94, delivered not 4 weeks.
Supporting the first.
Oh, the others. But what we have is not there. They have just given us quantity pieces.
Yes, maybe so that we don't have the audit. I want to know were the documents provided?
Thank you, Chair. The documents were provided and they are very bulky. So that is number 1 to number 270 of the documentation. And because it was bulky, we go from number 1 to number 10, the weight is arranged over there. We have copies here.
So do you want to double them?
Let us untick from 1 to 70.
No. Just go through it. We are now past the auditor. You're not provided them. I'm now asking, have you provided them to the committee? They are provided before us.
Yes.
So where are they? Food grants. The easiest person to get away not that the farm is annex 6 have delivery notes.
Allow me to help. Allow me, Chair, allow me to help.
There's no problem, you can help each other from one corner to the other. So now who wants to speak? Who wants to speak at the same time? Maybe you can agree.
Yes. Okay, because they were in the office then, let him...
Okay, sorry, just sorry for that. What they are listening to quantities.
Nuero TV.